Go. We are live. Welcome, everybody, to our Success Mastermind for the 1st of July, 2022, Independence Week here in the States. Canada Week, I suppose, in Canada, right? Canada Day is coming up. Or is that today? Is that today?
No.
It might be today. Not sure. Let me make sure all my sound is set right. There we go. There's that. All right, good. So good to see you all. It's a fun Friday, so I got to come up with a joke or something for you, right? Let me go back to my chicken jokes. We've been getting a lot of mileage out of this. Chicken jokes, duck, duck, go. All right. Here we are. 75 chicken jokes that will crack you up. All right. Where did we end off on this one? So let me go ahead and share my screen so you guys can see what I see on this here. That's not going to work. Never mind. All right. Here's a joke. What do poetic chickens enjoy? Spoken word poultry. Spoken word poultry. Why did the young rooster act like his dad? Like feather, like sun.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Here's one. What do chickens fear the most? The apocalypse. Got a little chuckle out of my friends here. That's great. Good to see you. Missy, Catherine's here. Edward, Ingrid, Linda, Lynn from all the way in Western Australia. Good to see you guys. I've got some time today. We're going to be getting together at 6 p.m., just so you know, Eastern U.S. time for Be Heard. I'd love to kibitz with you a little bit about a couple of things if you're going to be around, mostly business stuff. In fact, I think it's just been me and Catherine, or Catherine and Lindsay. It's been very light crowd on the Be Heard sessions, but I do that so that our members here obviously can talk about whatever you want to talk about. We got a lot going on, and so being that it's a very big month here in our world, I want to make sure everybody's up to speed. And if you've got some stuff you want to discuss, I want to be there for you. So, and I hear thunder coming in. Internet was out this morning, but we're back now. Hopefully it will stay on. So I want to talk with you a little bit today about remembering to show up deliberately and as the person you intend to show up as. Before we do that, did anybody else have a joke you wanted to share? I don't want to neglect anybody. If you came here with a joke, I know a lot of times you guys just depend on me to have all the ideas. So, all right, we'll go ahead. Yes. Who has a joke? Missy? No? Okay. So,
I have a joke.
Oh, Lynn.
Yes, I do. I have a dreadful joke from when I was about 7.
Oh, good.
I got into trouble in school because I couldn't stop laughing. It's not good, but it's a 7-year-old joke. What lies on the bottom of the ocean and twitches?
What?
A nervous wreck.
That's great. Nervous wreck. Oh, here comes the rain. All right, good. All right. So thank you, Lynn. Here's what I wanted to talk with you about is remembering to show up. So I would give you a picture that you can kind of imagine in your mind. Is that someone is in a state of frustration with, let's say their business. They're frustrated. They're not getting the results they want. Perhaps they're diluted. They're doing this, they're doing that. They've got and kids that they're taking care of and everything else. And yet they want to succeed in this business that they're running. Let's say it's something that we got people here involved in e-commerce and home business, various affiliate and marketing programs. We got online shopping club, which I'm personally involved in, and we've got lots of different things that you could do, that you could show up as, right? So that's a role, that's a hat that you can wear. You could show up as that. But with all the other things that we're dealing with throughout life and all the things that impinge upon us, it's, I think, often easy to go into agreement with, I am overwhelmed with all these things going on. And then when you do hit the marketplace, when you do actually show up in the marketplace, if you do that as the overwhelmed, frazzled person, or as the person needing counsel, right, needing to vent or something, then is that attractive? Here's the question: is that attractive to your ideal target audience? Now, I've seen this play out mostly in like the home business space, right, where people, let's say they enroll in some program and they're all, I guess, wanting, right? They want to succeed, right? I don't think people enroll in things because they want to fail in them, but they want to succeed. And yet here they are showing up on social media as either needy or, like I mentioned, overwhelmed, or complaining, right? Griping about something, airing their laundry publicly, right? Have you ever seen this before? And then in a state of mystery about, why aren't people buying my deal? Now, I think for everybody here, it's not mysterious, right? You've got a, a bit more awareness than, people who aren't engaged in introspective conversations and personal development and all that. But there is a book that was written in 1997. I got it when it came out. It was suggested to me. Anybody know who Rick Pitino is? Rick Pitino. He's like a coach, some very successful basketball coach or something. And he wrote this book called Success is a Choice. I haven't read it in a long time, but he gives 10 steps to overachieving in business and life. So I guess we could call our talk today like choosing success, because as I was just flipping through this, you see the pages are a little bit yellowed. How does a book that was written in the 90s get yellowed pages? Is there a special ointment or something they could put on the paper to make the stuff look more aged, like you're more seasoned or something, even though the book's only a few years old? Okay. So this one's been on my shelf since 1998. First trade paperback edition, 1998. And I'm not a sports guy, so I don't know who the hell is Rick Pitino. Like, why should I listen to him? I don't know. But he gives 10 steps, and I'm just going to enumerate them. And I want to see for myself, am I showing up by applying these 10 steps? Am I remembering to apply these steps or embody these precepts? Or am I allowing myself to be lazy and forgetful? Number one, build self-esteem. All right. So what does that mean to you guys when I say self-esteem? Here's what it means to me. It means that I honor myself. I respect myself. I hold myself in a higher regard than I would if I had a low self-esteem. I remember having a conversation with someone, decades ago, and talking about how I really need to work on my self-esteem, and I'm so downtrodden, and so here I was introverting. Here I was new to the whole path of personal development, and this person stopped me and said, "Well, actually, you have pretty high self-esteem." I was like, what? He said, yeah, if you didn't, you wouldn't be seeking counsel and reading books and showing up to meetings. Low self-esteem people don't follow the path. You're doing pretty good. I was like, oh, okay. So in that case, it was just the validation from another. I couldn't validate myself, I guess, at that point. I was still in the clouds with all that. But somebody else gave me permission to stop being so downtrodden. No, I haven't arrived, okay, but still, hold yourself in high esteem. You're doing it, man. You haven't arrived, but you're doing it. How many people are doing it? Not many. You're doing good. You're good, right? So a little bit of acknowledgement there. Number two, set demanding goals. Set demanding goals. So who makes that decision? Like who's got the scales here to say what's demanding and what's not? Well, you, right? So are you remembering to show up as someone who makes demands of life there was a poem written some centuries ago about, I begged for a penny, my scanty, pittance and whatever. But then, had I demanded, or, life, essentially the idea of the poem was that life will give you what you demand. So if you're begging for pennies, the rat looking for cheese, right? And all that. I said it, Missy. I said it. Well, that's not terribly demanding. So we need to raise the bar a bit, play a bigger game, if we're showing up as the person who chooses success, because we pretty much get what we expect, right? So what demands? Let me offer you a phrase that I got from one of my mentors, which is, I will not be denied, or I shall not be denied. So that sounds demanding, doesn't it? So here's the goal, and I will not be denied this goal. So that's kind of putting your stake in the ground. All right. That's a choice. That's a choice. Number 3, always be positive. I guess this kind of goes back to the person who's airing their laundry, in public and wondering why people don't buy their shit. Right. So always be positive. How are you showing up, not just publicly, but also to yourself? Are you able to get back to center? I mean, when nobody else is looking, and it's just you and your integrity, or lack thereof, are you able to, in the midst of circumstances, get back to present time, perhaps have some gratitude, right? What an amazing opportunity you have to deal with all these problems. That's spectacular, right? There's other problems that you don't have and you don't want. So can we be positive? And can we remember to do that? And then the inner dialogue that comes from getting back to, center, and remembering to be grateful and all this. The inner dialogue is then reflected in your outer dialogue. Suddenly you're showing up as a more resourceful person, because you have more resources internally. You have more resources. Therefore, you occur as more resourceful, and therefore more attractive to people who are seeking what? Seeking success themselves, seeking increase, fuller expansion and expression. Can you be a demonstration of that? Well, it starts here, and then it's reflected outwardly. So the third precept here is to always be positive. Number 4, establish good habits. Well, we've talked a lot about that. Establish good habits. Yeah. And here's a guy who's in the sports world. And if you're interested in looking up what did he do that's so great that now he wrote a book, but I think it was basketball. I don't know. But we've talked a lot about habits and how that's actually more powerful than like some big Herculean heroic effort or something. I say habits beat heroics. In the sports world, you would think a sports hero and some amazing feat of amazingness or something. Well, guess what? Right. So these people who succeed in sports and business and whatever, right? It's the habits that allow them to occur as, let's say, extremely above average. And so likewise with all of us, if we have habits, we could occur as a superhero to a lot of people. I was rewatching, just to kill a little bit of time while I was waiting for my daughter to come home from a birthday party yesterday. I was rewatching the movie Playing with Fire. Anybody needs a laugh. One of the funniest modern movies I've seen in a long, long time. I've probably watched it 5 times with my daughter. It's about these specialty firemen called smoke jumpers. They jump out of helicopters into burning buildings and save the people, and how they're kind of saddled with these kids that they rescue. And then there's no parents to pick up the kids. They got to deal with the kids, and the kids are running all over the place. Hilarious movie. And why was I bringing that up? Oh crap! I think I forgot what I was talking about. We're talking about good habits and heroics. Yes, and there's a part in that movie where the chief of all chiefs for this these fire troops or whatever is being interviewed by this news reporter. Oh, that was amazing! What you guys are like superheroes. He's like, well, actually, it's just good habits and training and superior genetics, and you know what? Come to think of it, we kind of are like superheroes. So it was obviously a funny bit, but establish good habits. What's good? Who sets that barometer? Oh, that's you again, right? So who's causing all this? Your cause. Just like when we're talking about choosing success, he says success is a choice. Well, how do you define that? Success. My favorite definition, of course, from Earl Nightingale is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So it's not about arriving, it's about making progress, making more real. This is more real than it was yesterday. So every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Therefore, I am progressively realizing a worthy ideal. Will I ever completely arrive and embody the ideal? I don't know, probably not. I don't know. All right, but I'm going to make progress. Number 5, master the art of communication. I could talk about that one for decades. I mean, if you think about everything that you've caused in terms of your relationships with people, customers, buying or not buying from you, and relationships going south or north, I suppose, and all of it is caused by communication. I mean, if I never communicated with you, then there would be no cause and effect, transfer of an idea. Nothing happens. Nothing's being caused, right? But through communication, all kinds of stuff, business, empires, and nations and religions, and you name it. Communication. Master the art of communication. And I'll give you a tip on doing that. Read lots of books, because what you put in is what comes out. And of course, reading lots of books is another way of receiving communication, right? So is listening. How do you master the art of communication? It's a two-way right? It's a dialogue, let's say. And right now, the author's talking to me. He can't hear me talking back to him, but communication has to go two ways. 2 ears, 1 mouth, right? Listen, read, right? Take it in. Load your guns. Number 6, learn from role models. We talked about this just earlier this week, right? And this could be imaginary role models too. Napoleon Hill used to sit and talk to people that weren't there, right? And just kind of get, what would they say, right? Here's Abe Lincoln, here's Napoleon Bonaparte, here's Tom Edison, right? He would arrange his imaginary council, okay? We can do that. We can also, in real life, right, like active, waking hours, we can have role models. And this is not something where we're looking for like some, messiah or something. It's just where people have embodied by their demonstration, by their fruits, you'll know them, right? People have excelled in some area, maybe not all areas, but some area where they could be your role model in that area. Learn from role models, plural. Okay. Now on a very high level, of course, we can get into, people of faith and scripture and all this, right? Where this would be the ideal, we could say, in multiple or in all areas. Okay, you can go that way too. I'm thinking to make things personal and again, to kind of compartmentalize, right? What would so-and-so do in this situation? Because they're my role model as it relates to that. I think that makes it more real for you. Right? So learn from role models rather than just kind of bumbling around, right? Back to the example I gave before with the person airing their laundry on social media. Well, what are the successful people in their very same deal, the deal that they're working, right? What are the successful people? Is that what they do? Right? If Bob is like the top earner in the deal, right? Is that how he behaves? Probably not. Number 7, thrive on pressure. Anybody ever heard that saying, I work well under pressure? Here's what I've discovered. I work when under pressure. If no pressure, I don't work. As easy as it is to do the right thing, it's even easier for me to not do it, right? So again, who can decide how much work or demand is now qualified to be pressure? Well, you set that barometer. And the great news is if you're doing these other things like developing good habits, then you can handle more and more. You get bigger, stronger, faster, and all that, right? So this is an upward spiral. So what was a pressure thing for you yesterday, maybe nothing for you tomorrow. Hey, whatever, right? I could do that in my sleep. In my world, talking to clients, right? So this is something where, and I mean, you guys didn't know me back when I was a mechanic, but one of the reasons I got into the mechanical fields is because I didn't have to talk to people. Oh, Ingrid's leaving. Ingrid, you need to call me. Like, no shit. You need to call me. We got to talk. Yeah, call me when you're around. Today, make it happen. Love you, Ingrid. Have a good day. But yeah, one of the things. So picture this: I was a, just a kid, and no real purpose, nothing, going on in my life. And then I discovered that I could work with my hands and get a result, repair or maintain a machine. And I was, again, because you guys weren't there, you don't know, but I was not like, a social kid in school or anything like that. So for me, the transition from, being sort of a recluse into a productive member of society was via the trades. Right. And I didn't have to master the art of communication. Well, in a way, yeah. I mean, you're communicating with machinery, right? You're inputting, torque onto this fastener. We could say that's a form of communication. Okay. But it doesn't talk back, right? It either works or it doesn't. And so it's very objective and not subjective. Okay. So in this case, I had a transition to make because I could only go so far with that into, the places that I wanted to go in my life. And I started to notice that I can't advance in my career, either in the mechanical trades or later into, sales and marketing and entrepreneurship. But I couldn't do that without being more involved, in the lives of others. Right. The breakthrough doesn't happen sitting in a cave alone, tinkering with your machinery or something. So, so in that case, I had to expand, but that was not an easy thing for me to do at first. I had to, I had to really put effort into that. And if not for the pressure that I allowed myself to experience and to go through, to persevere, right, to go through severity, then I wouldn't have come out the other side, as someone who, evolved into what I'm still evolving into, I suppose. So so thriving on pressure, is that the one we're on, number 7? Thrive on pressure. Yes. So thriving on pressure is something that we can learn to do. I work when under pressure. I am now going to make those demands upon myself. And I demanded of myself that I learn new skills, right? I learned how to interact with people and sell and counsel and all this kind of stuff, right? So that took some time, but if not for the pressure, I wouldn't have done it. So what are you evolving into? Just like the coal evolves into a diamond, takes a long time, by the way, lots of pressure. Okay. But no pressure, no diamond. Right. Number 8, be ferociously persistent. So he didn't just say be ferocious, although some of you have a very high level of ferocity, Missy. I heard you guys talking before we went live. Lynn was asking about Monty Python. I remember the Holy Grail, where the narrator came on and he said, the ferocity of the French taunting took King Arthur and his men totally by surprise. I will taunt you a second time, but be ferociously persistent. This has come up again and again for us, where again, Hill said, look at these guys like Ford and Edison. I didn't see any like magical stuff going on with them except persistence. Like like nonstop. Henry Ford was accused of being obstinate. Right? He won't change. Look, you could have any color car you want as long as it's black. And you know what? I want a V8 engine, or I want an 8-cylinder single block engine. Figure it out. Can't be done. Figure it out anyway. Figure it out. Ferociously persistent. I would call that unreasonable. So to quote George Bernard Shaw, he said that the reasonable man tries to adapt himself to his environment. The unreasonable one persists in adapting the environment to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. Unreasonable. We could see how that correlates to being ferociously persistent, I think. Okay. And going beyond what most people would consider reasonable. Hey, you gave it a good shot. Nope. Ain't no good shot happening here. As Yoda said, there is no try. Number 9, learn from adversity. So rather than licking our wounds and bemoaning our lot, and it didn't work out, right? Or I've got problems. Welcome to planet Earth. Okay. So there's adversity. What can we learn from it? I heard someone recently say, I think I got this from Glenn Henderson. It may have been on Wednesday. After he was done talking about Star Trek, he gave us some amazing quotes. And something had to do with I've never lost. He was quoting Conor McGregor, the mixed martial arts fighter. Okay, this guy is very brash. He's kind of a showboat guy, talks a lot of smack. I'm going to kick his ass, blah, 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 right? Irish guy, and he, after all of that bravado, he may lose the fight. Right. I mean, the other guy kicks ass too. I mean, they're both in there like really kicking ass. And so he was being interviewed. And well, you know, what are you going to do now that you've lost? And he said, I've never lost. I've never lost a fight. I've won or I've learned. Whoa. So this guy just, you know, after all the talk of how he's going to tear this other person to shreds, he loses. And his response is, I've never lost. I won or I learned. So learn from adversity. And I know some of you are just itching to get in the ring. Cage fight. Yes, Edward? Linda? Cage fight? No? Okay. Number 10. And then I'm going to stop talking, believe it or not. Number 10. This is interesting. Survive success. Survive success. So look, if we do these other 9 things, and I guess, you know, read the book if you want more explanation, but if you do these other things, you're going to succeed. You're going to make more real on a progressive, you know, gradient. You're going to make more real those ideals that you've determined for yourself. Well, and then what? What happens if you actually reach the goal? Now, look, we get what we expect. So if you're expecting whatever you're doing to work for you, and to a greater and greater degree, can you also think ahead a little bit? And what new problems will you have? I mean, now that you just turned your annual income into your monthly income, Catherine, what new problems will you have? Great question. Well, we should preemptively, right? If we're expecting to succeed, right? We should preemptively, you know, kind of have a plan. And if you fail the plan, you're planning to fail, right? I can give you one idea is that, you know, with more business, you know, volume and enterprise and customers and money, right? Probably going to want to have, you know, somebody to take care of your accounting, unless you're into that sort of thing. I'm personally not at all into that sort of thing, but that's not something that, you know, it's one thing to be an employee at at the grocery store and to, you know, do your tax returns at H&R Block and pay the $200 fee or whatever it is. It's very different when you're running multiple corporations, right? So that's something. Are you prepared for that? People talk about fear of failure and fear of success. And this, I think, is what he's getting at here. And I haven't read the book in a while, but surviving success could also be the idea that we no longer hold ourselves back. We no longer stop ourselves from reaching and actually getting it. Because what if we actually get it? Oh, well, then what would I do? Well, you should know what is next. You should be able to, I don't like the word should. You have an opportunity to fast forward the tape a little bit, the videotape. Imagine reading the, let's say you're in chapter 1 of the book. It's your book, okay? But before you read chapter 2, you go to chapter 3. It's an interesting thing that you could just mentally try this on, right? So let's say you're on whatever chapter you're on right now in the book of your life, okay? And so the next chapter, let's say you've turned over a new leaf, you're like, hard charging, and man, I'm going to go reach these goals. I'm going to build this business. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Damn it. Okay, great. What does the next chapter after that one look like? Can you advance the tape or turn a few pages in the book and write that next chapter? Look at, all right, if you reach all these goals, which you're expecting to do, which is why you're making an effort in the first place, what's the next chapter going to be? Now that I accomplished this goal, these are going to be my next goals. So see, we're thinking bigger, right? That's that upward spiral. And now I'm postulating that now that all this stuff that I want to accomplish right now that all that's accomplished, too late to fail. I've already got it, right? Now that all that's done, what am I postulating now? What am I efforting? What am I participating in? If you don't do this, you slide back. I'll tell you, not only is it harder to reach a goal if you're not expecting it, but even if you do reach it, because even a blind squirrel can find a nut, right? But even if you do reach the goal and you've got no next chapter written or at least outlined, you get to slide back because nothing rests. And you get to not survive your own success. And I say that from experience. Some people say the first million's the hardest. Bullshit. Lose millions and then do it again. Yeah, I would offer you that's a bit. That's what happens if you don't have an outline for the next chapter, or if you rest on your laurels, because nothing rests. Create or destroy. Survive success. Wow. Thanks, Rick. All I did was read the table of contents, and I feel like we're done with this book. By the way, our next book in the book study group shall be, because it came up 3 times, Missy, it came up 3 times this week already. Stop Worrying and Start Living, Dale Carnegie. Stop Worrying and Start Living, which your husband recommended, so deal with it. Just deal with it. Stop Worrying and Start Living. I'll be making a formal announcement on that here real soon. So this week, though, of course, this Monday night, we're going to be completing You Were Born Rich by Bob Proctor, chapters 9 and 10, and whatever afterword or epilogue or whatever he's got in there. So who's got some thoughts on this? Remembering to show up, choosing to show up as the best version of yourself. Who's got some thoughts? Missy.
Well, it all depends on where your self-image is.
Mhm.
And mine has changed quite a bit. And this book, I don't know if you can see it in my dream home. It's the
Psycho-Cybernetics. I saw a flash of it, yes.
So in the place where he gives the questions and answers, and he gives the definition, psycho-cybernetics, if you don't mind me being just a couple sentences.
Sure.
It's a helmsman, a man who steers his ship to port. And his word, psycho-cybernetics, means steering your mind to a productive, useful goal. Let's say goals, okay? So we're never going to stop making goals. If we get $1 billion tomorrow, we still have to have a goal. People with negative feelings are likely to steer themselves off course. But psycho-cybernetics is a creative process aiming at self-fulfillment. And then Salvador Dali comes in, and he talks about there's a negative man, shrunk to the size of a small potato, who's walked away from life and from himself into the dark corners of his troubled mind, while below a ship without sails flounders in the stormy seas of frustration, never reaching port. And then he says, the other half of the world is in sunshine from confidence gained from past successes, and I would say failures as well. Confidence used in man's present goal to reach fulfillment. Here, man's image is 10 feet tall, walks toward the sun, while below a ship sails through calm waters about to reach port. And what is port? Peace of mind. Each of us is composed of many people, particularly of two opposing forces of frustration and confidence. And we have to use the success instinct in us. It's in everyone. One step beyond worthwhile positive thinking is positive doing. You take a constructive thought and turn it into constructive performance, moving towards your goal. Refusing to let negative feelings throw you off course. So we have to hone our success instincts. And when we have a call with a prospect that doesn't go anywhere, you can't get, I can't get upset anymore. I don't get upset anymore. I'm just like, okay, whatever. Even if they hang up, it doesn't matter. I'm honing that. I'm persevering, I'm persisting, I'm making the next call. It doesn't hold me back. I used to think about that person. I was on the next call. Why did that, I had to try to force that amount. He's not coming into my mind anymore. It's just, I'm sailing the ship. And I don't care that it's not quite reflected in my financial bottom line. That port is right in front of me. And I'm steering there. The ship is not abandoned. I'm not abandoning myself. It doesn't matter what physiology is. Nothing matters outside of me, what is inside of me. And that is the way you steer the boat. But you have to have a healthy self-image. And if it's not healthy, you have to work on getting it there. And that's what I've done this past year, thanks to you and this group and the masters that you have running your courses and the books that you've introduced us to, many of which I have read, but did not apply. And this place taught me to apply it. And thanks again to one and all. So if you haven't read that book, you can fix your self-image in that book. So just thought I'd throw that in. Thank you for this fascinating conversation.
Thank you, Missy. And we reviewed that book in the book study group. So if anybody wants to go back and check out the recordings of that, it's all on the member site. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube and you're not a member, heavens forbid, just go to jlsuccessmastermind.com and you can get full access. So who else? Thank you, Missy. We got Catherine's here, Daisy, who's at work, Edward, who's in the UK. We got Linda over there, Lindsay in Alabama. Lynn is here. Ingrid had to leave. She's getting her mother into a residence. Any other thoughts on remembering to show up? Is the ideal version of you, Catherine?
Yeah, I was going to say, I really needed this today. I didn't hit my goals last month, but I know I learned a lot. So it's a win either way, right?
Okay.
I mean, I figure I went from 0 in May to 3 last month, and my house is on the market. And so I'm learning how to juggle different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't completely lose my mind yet.
Okay. Is that an affirmation? All right.
So I really needed this today. I just want to say thank you for that. I just needed the reminder that I might not have done what I wanted to, but I learned a whole lot.
Did you make progress?
Yes.
You're successful.
Definitely progress.
Yeah. Right. Earl Nightingale said, who succeeds? The person who's deliberately pursuing a self-determined goal. That's it. You're progressively realizing a worthy ideal. You're doing it. All right. So be ferociously persistent. Great news, everybody. It's July 1st. Well, I know for you, Lynn, it's July 2nd already, but it's you get to start again. And you could say when that is too, right? In this case, the calendar's telling you it's July 1st. Okay, cool. Or it could be, Monday. Thank God it's Monday, right? You get to start again, or whatever. You get to hit the reset button again and again. And I just remember, I saw this comedian. It's Fun Friday, right? So I saw this comedian, and he was talking about his dog. and how his dog is so persistent when he's sitting there watching TV, the guy is, and eating potato chips. And the dog comes over and is drooling on him. And he's just imagining the conversation. Hey, can I have a potato chip? He's like, no, go away. Can I have a potato chip? No, these are my potato chips. Can I have a potato chip? Can I have a potato chip? Can I have a potato? All right, fine. I will give you one potato chip and then get the hell out of here. He gives the dog a potato chip. Can I have a potato chip? Can I have a potato chip? Right? So it's like that. It's like that. There's no off switch. It's just, can I have a potato chip? Until they're completely gone and the bag is licked. What do you think, Linda?
Yeah. I really needed this today too. And you, you talk about a dog, we'll try a toddler, okay?
Yeah.
So I talk about persistence. Oh my goodness. Did I have a lesson in persistence one weekend I spent with my grandkids? My grandson, who's 2 going on 3, does not take no for an answer. And it's like, we all need to take lessons from our children because, their mind is open. They are so much closer to the source than we are, and they have not been corrupted yet.
Yeah.
So, that was a pretty good lesson I learned. So this past month has been a very big challenge for me, like health-wise and work-wise, and I felt like I was slipping backwards. My results are not there this month, but I didn't spend the time either. And my self-esteem was tested this week. And let me tell you, it stayed strong. So, because I was just, I just wouldn't let it happen. I just would not let myself fall backwards. I do have guilt of not getting things done. That's on me.
Mm-hmm.
As far as always being positive, I feel like that I am, for the most part, always positive. I always strive to be positive. I always find the good in everything, whether it's, whatever it might be. Establishing good habits, I need to work on that. Master the art of communication. That's always a work in progress. Learning from role models. I feel like I do that every week. And learning from adversity. I mean, we always learn by our mistakes, right? So I like what this guy had to say, like what you had to say. And just thanks for this. And
Well,
we just
you're
have to get
awesome.
out of our own way.
Yeah.
Thanks, John.
And look, a new month just started, and I mean,
Right.
the statistics are what they are. What are you going to do? Look forward. That's it. Keep moving forward.
Right. That's all we can do, right?
Yeah.
I just have to stop beating myself up, right?
Yeah, please. I just sent you a couple leads, so go be powerful, Linda.
Okay.
Don't be downtrodden, Linda.
I will.
Be powerful, Linda.
Okay. No, I mean, when I have the time to dedicate to that, I'm always in that good vibration. Because if I can't put myself there, then I don't bother, because there's no point, So it's just finding the time, because I work full time. So this is, part time for me, and I want to make it full time. And
Okay. Well, I am here.
I need to be more persistent, like my grandson. Let me. Okay. Yeah.
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 So, Linda,
Oh my God.
Here's the thing, and we're going to go to Lynn next. Okay. But there are things that you can control and things that you can't control. In other words, part of being responsible is knowing what you're not responsible for. So if our integrity is in, if we've done what we've said we were going to do, then you can stand strong, hold your head up high. All right, the stats weren't as admirable as you would have preferred. Okay, but your integrity is in. Okay, now you can hit that reset button and hit it even better and more efficiently. See what you've learned from last time. But where I think the conflict comes in is where we let ourselves down. Okay, right. I'm not responsible for him or her or what they did or didn't do. I'm responsible for what I did or didn't do. And so if I feel like I've let myself down, now I can lament or be critical, point the finger, right? And all this kind of, inner, conflict kind of stuff. So just note, Linda, I hold you in high esteem as well. All right. That was the first step. Build your self-esteem. Yes, that was number one. So
Yep.
yeah. So just in case you're wondering, you have good self-esteem. Yeah.
No, I do. And it was tested this week, let me tell you.
Sure.
And yeah, it was, it kept me up at night. Like, no, you can't make that decision. You have to keep, it's just going to make you feel like crap all the time. You have to choose the other thing. Yeah. Without going into detail, but yeah. So yeah, I'm feeling good. And it's like, in my money paradigms were tested this week, and there was a lot of stuff going on. My, yes. The, the thinking in lack, instead of abundance, that was tested. So, and I came out the other way. So yeah. I mean, I had some.
Nobody
really
said
good
this stuff was
lessons.
easy.
No, I know, but I had really good lessons for myself this month, and feeling really good going into July. And yeah.
Good.
So
July's here.
All right.
Independence. Boom. Here we go.
Right. Boom.
Yeah.
Patriotic month. Yep.
Hey, you know what, guys? Let me just say this. And then we're going to bring Lynn out. Hey, Lynn, let's get you unmuted. The reality and the fact that you can prosper on this insane asylum of a planet is remarkable, right? You're all awesome. I'll just leave it at that. What do you think, Lynn?
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Right.
Point number 9 for me was a really good one tonight. Were you talking about the boxer who sort of basically said he never lost a fight, he either won or he lost, which would be a really hard
one or
learn. It'd be a hard learning. But it's that flipping to the positive of your current negative perception of whatever's going on. That's really a powerful thing, and it just reminded me of how much it had worked for me in the past. And it was like, oh yeah, thank you. That just went home really nicely as something that it's like, I know I can do this. I've done it before, and it's really it's a really strong thing to do. So yeah, that was just it was thank you for the reminder. Really, essentially, it struck home.
Good. Well, I need reminders all the time. So thanks for listening in. And and I'd be happy to, Lynn, I had sent you some stuff the other day. I'd be happy to get your feedback on it. If you want to call me after this, we can jump on Skype or Telegram or something. Okay? Sure.
Sorry, I must have missed it.
Okay. Very good.
Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, I'll send you some feedback. Okay. I'm listening. Yeah.
All right, my friends. Anybody else before we wrap up for the day? I'm going to be back here with you at 6 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. My wife just texted, "Holy duck, D-U-C-K. I'm driving through hell." So apparently the storms, Lindsay, you know all about these storms. You live in one of the Gulf states, right? So yeah. So we're getting some rain apparently, and lightning and everything else. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up with that. You guys have an awesome rest of your day. I'll see you back here in a few hours. In the meantime, have a good one.